Week 26 without a gaming computer. Yes, actually week 26 this week, not week 25 like it was last week when I said week 26 because I forgot and I got mixed up. Anyways, let's start with the not messed up stuff first. There's really not much that happened, so 3 things on my list. Yay. Let's start with the boring one first, because the boring one is why I'm sitting down. So let me turn my camera here around. And over here, you can see I got more visible cables on my monitor. The reason for that is because I remembered I have this little Y splitter for surround sound cable. So it's a surround Y splitter thing. And what I did is I hooked up my speakers to that. The ones that are going to this monitor and everything. On one end I hooked them up. Okay. Then on the other end I hooked up my headset that is up there. Yay. So the cool thing is as long as that headset is turned completely down, it's basically like it's not plugged in at all. So my speakers have no volume change, and there's also no quality change. But as soon as I turn those that headset up, the volume, and ignore the heater here, probably hear it in the background now. As soon as I turn the headset up, then these speakers will grow quieter. And that's okay because I'm not going to be using the headset with these speakers on. And as long as these speakers aren't affected when the headset is off, I can leave it plugged in the entire time instead of unplugging and plugging back in. That's for recording stuff, because I only use my headset for recording because it's easier to use because I can just hear myself speak better compared to the headphones I got hanging up right there on the dagger. And on top of that, it's also more comfortable. It doesn't give me a headache or anything after I wear it for a long period of time. But I also plugged in the mic on it. The sound card I had on my other computer, which is why I'm never getting another sound card, it sucked with the mic of that headset, so it made it sound like crap. But the mic sounded decent, considering it's a regular crappy headset mic. I consider every headset mic crappy. Just because it's kind of small, it doesn't really have the proper sound to me. It's not perfect enough. But I plugged the headset mic in way back there. Just, you can barely see that little pink thing there. It's plugged in back there. And the cord it's plugged into goes around, and it's actually hanging up right there. So as soon as I get my computer done, I'm going to be plugging that into the back of my computer. Obviously, only thing is I'm gonna plug it in my computer as soon as it's done at first is gonna be a keyboard and mouse, just until I get basic testing stuff set up and I get Windows installed and all that, because you don't want to have anything extra plugged into your computer that may be something you need to eliminate, like, oh, this for some reason isn't supported and it's causing some weird error or problem. So anyways, the other stuff, let me turn this around, and I'm going to turn it around again in just a sec. I got some new fish. Oh, that's where that snail, okay. And a couple new snails. So what I got was 2 new Otos sinkless catfish, Otos, and a couple snails. One of the snails just barely woke up, the other one's still asleep. They were all asleep at the store when I got my snails. Just crazy because it's closing in on 24 hours since I got them now. And yeah, let me go ahead and show you guys. I'm looking for my other Oto. Those little Otos, man, they're crazy. Yeah, so come on. Just barely see. There's the new, or one of the new baby Otos. A little guy can just fit everywhere. The big one is back there with some crap I gotta clean up from those little new Otos because they've been eating non-stop. I got them because it might be a little hard to see, but you can see all that brown stuff there. There's just brown algae. The UV sterilizer doesn't really work for brown algae. It works for green and bacterial blooms, and it doesn't really work for brown. So I did have the UV sterilizer on for over a week just to test. It did help limit the spreading and growth of the algae, but it didn't make it go away or anything. So it just doesn't work all that well. But up here, this is the biggest area. This pump of the UV sterilizer, the spot that's right in the center of the screen there, behind the round thing there, next to the bubbles, that was almost entirely brown from the algae. And just yesterday, before I went to bed, oh, there the other auto is, there. Both of them there. One you saw the reflection of from the glass. One of them was swimming around the tank a lot. The other was hanging around with my big auto that's back there, the auto I've had for quite a while. He just relaxes all the time. He's always stuffed full and literally fat. But one of my autos, a super hyper active one, just swimming around the tank everywhere, just non-stop pretty much. He or she, or I don't know, it went over and cleaned up this pump pretty good. It was crazy. He just went up there, and everywhere he passed across, the brown just disappeared. The bulb cover here, it was also pretty brown covered, mostly around the edges, the cracks there. That was pretty heavily brown, and cleaned it up pretty damn nice. So it's gonna be pretty helpful. I did throw in a little algae cookie, algae wafer, whatever. They didn't eat that, they didn't even touch it. It's just split from absorbing so much water. And only one snail is awake so far, and it's right over there. Not really moving a whole lot, but it was right over next to this one, and I have seen it moving around. So it is alive, it's working, doing what it's supposed to. This one isn't dead or anything. It's tucked nice and tight inside its shell. It's just sleeping a long time. I think they were all from the same batch, so they were just all exhausted and all wanting to sleep or something. I don't know. It's just weird. Usually you'll find some that are asleep in a tank at the store and some that are awake. But yeah, the autos, it's going to be awesome because they're going to get the same size as the other auto back there. You can see all three of them right now. Obviously the big auto's in the back, and far back of the corner of the other two are pretty close. But it's going to be kind of crazy. It shouldn't take more than a month for these little autos to be the same size as the big auto back there. And it's going to really help with keeping the tank clean. And I just like watching those things swim around and do their stuff. And I also like these black snails. I wish they were more perfectly black. They got some algae or green algae on both of their shells actually, so they're kind of aged a bit and probably already fully grown. The last snails I had had a really nice black shell. These ones, there's imperfections in the shell and everything, and it's just an aesthetic thing. I just like the nice black shell of a black snail. I don't know why, it's just something that's neat to me. Anyways, the last thing is the messed up thing. It involves a mouse. So this apartment is pretty old. Mice have gotten in here since I was in middle school. My grandma and grandpa used to live here. Before my grandpa had actually died, and mice would get in here all the time still. And I don't know how they managed to get in. I think they probably fit in a crack of the door. I got little hard, dry spots on my eyes because I woke up just a little while ago. So I'm trying to clean that away, sorry. But yeah, the mice, whenever they get in, I think they just fit in through cracks in the door or something. I don't know. So I get like 1 or 2 mice out here each year. And it's not usually a big problem. It's usually something that's just like, damn it, that's annoying. I have to get a mouse trap, set it up. Okay, good, the mouse is gone. Done dealing with that. Usually just done within a day. It's just a little annoyance. But for the first time, the weirdest thing entered my shoe. And you probably already know because I already mentioned a mouse. But the weirdest thing before this was a wolf spider that I noticed in my shoe. I was like, what the hell? But this time, I didn't see what was in my shoe when I put my shoe on. So I put my shoe on, and it felt something squishy and warm at the tip of my toes. I was like, what the hell is that? I took my shoe off, thinking my dog somehow managed to shit in my shoe. And I was like, God damn it, that's messed up. So I tipped the shoe, and all of a sudden this mouse fell, and it had just like dry blood around its neck and its shoulder. Like, what the hell happened to that? I thought it was going to bite me or something. I tossed my shoe down because I was like, what the fuck, it might be dirty. And just a lot of other thoughts going through my head. I'm like, oh crap, it could have bit me. That wouldn't be good. Probably would have hurt because they can bite pretty hard. Yeah, it was just like, what the hell? And I just sat here for a few minutes talking to some people on my iPod, explaining what happened, and it's like, this is messed up. And I don't know how it got all bloody, but it was apparently close to death, because in those few minutes I was sitting here, it barely managed to walk 3 feet and collapse. And I looked up, and I thought it was dead on the ground. I thought it had collapsed and just died. And so I watched it, and after like 30 seconds, it walked away. It walked. It didn't run, it walked. It was so slow, so weakened, it just walked. I was like, what the hell? I haven't seen it since. Yeah. It's kind of messed up. I didn't really set a trap for it because I don't think it really lived all that much longer than it was there when I found it in my shoe. So I think since there's a open hole to go under the bathroom area, I think since it went under there, it just went in there and died somewhere. Because usually I see some sign that a mouse is still out here and alive if there's a mouse out here and alive. There's been nothing though. There's been no sound from it. There's been no movement. There's been nothing. So a mouse trap would have just been a waste of time, and one of the dogs probably would have tried licking peanut butter off of the thing and gotten their tongue caught in it. That's always a worry with mouse traps too, because dogs can be stupid sometimes. And it has happened before, so it's not like something they won't do. But yeah, so I do think the mouse is probably just dead somewhere. But that was just really weird, because I don't know what happened to it. My mom thinks my dog may have attacked it, but I think if my dog attacked it, it probably wouldn't have been so lucky to get away if he actually got a hold of it enough to make it bleed and everything. But it was just really weird. So anyways, that's pretty much it that happened this week. Not much at all, I know. So I'll see you guys next week or on some other video. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.